Perfect.
Good morning, Irene. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? So nice
I
to be
am
here
good.
finally. Waited for you
Yes.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I feel like I have been watching you for probably at least 8 months.
Oh, wow.
So, and one of the things that really drew me to you was, of course, your beautiful hair.
Oh, thank you.
And it's hard with curly hair to just embrace it. But I love that you do. But you're just so vibrant and your personality is so magnetic. And I just am so
Yeah.
drawn to that. So I have been watching you and just really excited to sit down with you today.
Well, thank you so much. Wow. I appreciate that your support for 8 months without even me knowing that you've been supporting. Always so honored and grateful for that.
Good, good. And so I am so excited to learn your story, but I want to tell you and be upfront with you from the beginning is that part of why I had you on is because I'm so interested in these patches. I don't know how familiar you are with COVID, but I had COVID. Let's see, it's been a year and a half since I had COVID. And I was one of those lucky people that had these rare side effects that my Achilles tendons appear like they're torn. Sometimes, sometimes, just some days. Some days my Achilles tendons look like they're torn, and I'm literally using a walker to get around and just can't hardly function. And then the very next day, I can go play tennis. And so it's clear to me that my Achilles tendon is not torn. I've been in sports my entire life. If it was actually torn, the very next day I would not be playing tennis. And so I think I also have horrible reactions to medications. So they do give out like a prednisone to help with inflammation, but it makes me have a rash. So I need things that are not drug related. So I'm super excited. Can you start by telling us your story?
Well, sure. So my story is I'm a mom of two beautiful daughters, 34 and 24, a grandma of five, been blessed with five beautiful grandchildren, been married twice, divorced twice. Life is beautiful. Divorce, I feel like doesn't define you. It makes you better. You learn. And I'm a hairdresser. I've been very blessed. I knew that I was going to be a hairdresser at 11 years old. I started my beautiful, you know, journey at 16. Pretty much done everything I could possibly do in that field for what I set my mind to. Work for Giselle, got a job at Giselle. A bear. He was one of the really big hairdressers. If you're 40, you know who he is. I mean,
Yeah.
50, you know who he is. So did that on my own salon. Had my name in lights. Had 9 people working for me. Um, and so done all of it. Like I said, living my best life, ups and downs, single mother, built a successful business for 6 figures, lived life to the fullest. And about 14 and a half years ago, all of that changed for me. I was in a terrible car accident. I was going to go celebrate my 43rd birthday, and instead of end up being in ER. Um, and I started there, but the car accident is a connection to my first car accident when I was at 23 years old. Um, I died and I came back, obviously. I went through the tunnel of light, had a conversation with God, and He told me I wasn't ready to go. And that was very strange for me. And um, that whole experience, life after death, and experience the magic of God. And I'm Jewish by birth. I don't practice really anything except spirituality and kindness, but I had Jesus standing in front of me. So it was very profound, something very deep that I didn't understand. And the journey still continues to understanding. And so I promised certain things at that moment, and I didn't fulfill them, or I kind of fell off the wagon. And I feel like the second car accident was the extension of the first. And I have to kind of share that story because words matter, action matter, and
Right.
to request certain energy from the universe, you must also practice in that energy. And
Right.
didn't. And when my second car accident happened, I knew exactly why I did, because the car accident happened exactly the same way 20
Oh,
years apart. So there was no coincidence, is that I was putting words but no action, or it didn't align mind, body, and soul.
right.
Had to kind of give that background, because that it's a lesson that's been with me for a very long period of time. So the first car accident was very terrible. I was bleeding internally. I was black and blue for 9 months. It was life altering. I decided to get a divorce. It was just, there was a lot of growth. Second correction was reminder that I forgot about the growth, that I forgot about what I needed to do, how I needed to live, in purpose, in passion, in practicing what I preach. So that was the emotional outcome from that. But physical, you could not see it. My arm wasn't broken, but the chronic pain was exaggerated. It was so bad. It was so deliberated. It was so painful. And, unfortunately, my insurance was not the top of the line. So it took 9 months to get my first epidural. I lived on Vicodin and Norco and Oxycontin, and 9 epidurals, 4 hip injections, sympathetic nerve blocks, Gapitan, like a bag full of medicine I can't even pronounce. And 3 years into my struggle, and it's mental, physical, and emotional. I lost the business that I built as a single mother to 6 figures, gone. There's no money coming my way except coming out. My, mentally, I can't even think straight because I'm
Right.
pain, right? So that the mindset went away. That my powerful words that I use on others and myself to survive some horrible things was not working. It was dire for me. It was really dire. And then
Right.
it, I was in so much pain that my neurology basically crashed. And you saw that video where I'm shaking?
Yes.
That was the side effect of my nervous system and the part of the brain that deals with pain releasing itself, because it could
Right.
not handle it anymore and it had to release it, but it caused me more pain. And that took, like, it took almost 5 years before I found a doctor to say to me that you're not crazy, your neurology is on fire. And he gave me medicine to put my brain back into neurological balance. That cost me $250 a month. He
Holy
was a,
cow.
yeah, very expensive. He was a specialist for cancer, pain management, and this is what he saw in them. And so he understood what was happening to me. So I was so happy with that diagnosis. I was tested for MS and Parkinson's and Lou Gehrig disease. I was praying for something, and I'll tell you why. Is when you have a diagnosis, you're not crazy anymore, right? There's a
Right.
label on you. But when doctors don't understand, and my arm is not broken,
Yes.
it's my issue, right? My body's on fire, but they don't feel it, and they're like, you
Right.
just want more drugs. I'm sorry, my little
Right.
dog is excited here. No,
Right. And I totally understand that because, I have, so after I had COVID, I had a bout of kidney stones. And when I say kidney stones, I had 7 kidney stone surgeries in 1 year. 1 year. And I'd never had a kidney stone before. And I actually called the hospital the first time because I didn't know what was going on. I just knew that, well, number one, I wasn't giving birth. I was past that point and I wasn't pregnant, but I felt like if I could give birth, I would feel better. It was
yeah,
that much pain. And I called the hospital on the way and said, look, have the emergency room ready for me. I think I'm dying. I need pain meds. Something's got to change. And they said, we'll pull over and we'll send an ambulance to you. And I said, no, because I'll probably be dead before they get here. We live a
yeah,
long ways from the hospital. I'm coming in. I couldn't even sit back in my seat. I was holding myself to the steering wheel. I got there and they wouldn't even talk to me. They thought that I was there for pain meds.
yeah,
It took a nurse hearing me yell at them to come out and say, Colleen, what's wrong? And I told her I was in so much pain, and they're like, she's here for drugs. And she said, no, she's not. She's a reputable business owner that owns multiple businesses a couple towns away. This is just the closest hospital. She's absolutely not here for drugs. And they got me back there and did emergency surgery because I had a complete blockage. But
wow,
they didn't know this. And they don't listen. They don't um, a lot, so many times. And I think it's getting better. I think that the medical field is learning to connect that, yes, there was a lot of grief or a lot of something emotional that went on that, and then a traumatic physical event that combined and makes your brain misfire like neurologically like that, right? And so
Yeah.
I think that they're getting better at identifying that. They're also getting better at understanding that not everybody wants drugs.
And what I've learned through my experience is that I'm not blaming the doctors. I'm blaming the system. But that's a whole other. We can make another whole entire live conversation on that one. But to make a long story short, so 7 years ago, I struggled tremendously. Losing my business, $15,000 in debt, trying all kinds of stuff that did not work. And a friend of mine, a stranger that walked into my life, was diagnosed with MS a year after my car accident, and she promised that she will change my life before she dies. She wasn't even worried about her life. And she saw this woman. That's how important it is. And I'm so grateful that you allow me to share my story, to share stories and spotlight stories. And it's not easy to show the worst of us, but this woman showed the worst of herself, meaning her body collapsing with MS, no strength at all. And then our company started 8 years ago with a pair of socks that we no longer have, that the technology was in this sock, and she put the sock on and she was standing strong and powerful, and she took the sock off and she would drop. And my friend said, Irene, I have something else for you. And I said, no, thank you. I don't want it. I prayed for a miracle that I didn't believe in. And 7 years ago, I asked God to take me away because I could not
Right.
able to see myself in a wheelchair. First of all, nothing wrong with wheelchairs, but I could not see myself. I could not see myself. How am I going to support my business? I already lost 90% of it. And then whatever is left, I can't do it in a wheelchair. And then I couldn't imagine my 11 years old daughter taking care of me for the rest of her life. She was
Right.
11 when the car accident happened, 13 when they told me, 14 when they told me there's no hope. It's been, and I couldn't. And I said, God, I'm done. I said, I can't. I'm miserable.
Well, I think, Irene, that there are some people that are strong enough to be in a wheelchair. I'm
Yes,
not one of them. And for me, and I've had to use a walker ever since I had COVID, off and on. And for me, um, I don't travel that slow. To travel that slow kills my spirit.
yes,
But I
yes,
also want to say that I think that God puts us, you talked a little bit about being Jewish, and I don't know much about the Jewish religion, but I think that God puts us in situations where we are given the opportunity to rise, but we have to speak up for ourselves. We have to take a stand. And He gives us those situations. And we have to find it within ourselves to say, no, you know what? I'm not crazy. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm doing. And I am willing to do something about it. But I'm not willing to do this because I
yes,
know this isn't good for me. So I'm looking at this option. And I think that that's something God gives us, those situations, and it's up to us to make something glorious of it and to do
yes.
better for ourselves by that.
And that prayer, when I said to God, I'm done, because I prayed and I prayed, I'm all about power of prayer and faith, and everything is within me. I can do it because I've always worked. I've got myself in many difficult situations with my oldest daughter, and I mean, I have stories for you till we till dawn. But this was something very different because I had no power of anything. I've lost everything. I lost my heart, my soul, I felt
Right.
broken and useless and tired. And I said, God, I can't. I've been praying to you for 6 years or 5 years, like you're not hearing me, like you're not walking with me. And God wouldn't let me like go. He's like, I had my drugs in front of me. I had, and bottles of vodka and tequila. Like, what's going to take me away first? Like, what can I mix? But he said, pray, pray. That's all I heard. Pray for that wish. What do you want? And so I said, God, I'm done. I had to lean into my pain and get angry in order to be here today. Like, it's hard to explain maybe, but like until I got angry at God and the car accident, all the friends that left me said they're going to be there for me, or when I stopped paying for dinners and doing their hair, I had to get angry. And it's hard for me because I cherish my friendships, and I said, if I didn't want to be within myself, with me, why would somebody else? But
Right.
still had to get angry. And I prayed for, this little voice kept on saying, magic, pray for, like, you had a magic wand. What do you want? You have one wish. And it's a drug free, non invasive, no chemicals, no side effect, affordable, because I didn't have a lot of money. And I said, if it's a business, it must have a mission, purpose, and passion in people first. And I said, if you're going to keep me in this world, because I didn't use a wheelchair, but I used the walker, I used the cane, and that like destroyed my soul.
Yes, it does.
And I salsa, I hiked, I travel, like I'm full on active person. And so I released it and to the universe, and I said, this is what I need, this is what I want. And I said, if you answer my prayer that I don't believe in and grant me my wish, I will share the testimony.
I think, Irene, the important thing here is that faith without works is dead. So you said the prayer and then you did what you had to do to get there. But I also think this is important for our audience.
Yes.
You did not make it. I don't know one person that made it to 50 years old without going through some really serious, hard stuff. All of those emotions and things that you're talking about are things that I think every 50-year-old has felt at some point or another. There's been a time where we literally just want to throw the rag in, where it's just been too hard, where we don't think we can do it, where we know we can't do it. And for me, I've had to go back and lean on, okay, but me and God got this. God and I together can do it, even when I don't want to, I've been able to say, well, you're going to have to do it because I'm not there now. I don't have a desire to do it, and wait on that. But I think that every 50-year-old or older woman that watches this is totally going to be able to resonate with that. And yet we're so hesitant to put ourselves out there like that. But it's so predominant. It's like nobody talks about child loss. Nobody talks about suicide in your families. But we need to talk about these things because it is so predominant in everybody's life. We've all had really, really hard things we've dealt with.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was hard for me to start sharing my story because I have to show the worst of me. I'm not giving up. I'm always the cheerleader for everyone. Right. And I couldn't be a cheerleader for myself.
Right. And when you give up on yourself, that's rock bottom. That's it. When you just don't care and you just think it would be easier anywhere else, that's really rock bottom. But for you to rise from that, find a solution, and then be here to share that is a whole testimony in itself.
Well, I promise God, like, that's who I wake up towards, that prayer that I didn't believe in, and the magical socks at that time I said no to for 4 months because the pain that I lived in, I was comfortable with it. I made peace with it. I could not handle another disappointment. And there's been
That's it right there. You can't handle one more thing. It's not that you don't want better. It's not that you're so comfortable, miserable. It's that you absolutely cannot handle one more disappointment. You know that's going to break everything about you, and you're just hanging on by the thread of his robe, barely.
That's right. That's right. And I didn't want to be disappointed, but I wasn't. God got me. And he sent me those magic socks and everything changed. And then.
Now, did you use the socks?
So I started with the socks because that's all we had. And you had to wear them 24/7. I lived in them. And, and then 7, 8 months later, the patch came, the first patch, that exactly the same technology that is in that sock, that this is the master. It's okay to show it. It has this little ridges on it, and it's exactly the same ridges were in the socks, and that's what changed my life. And now we have 13 different patches. So this is all drug-free and non-invasive, no chemicals, no side effect. What it does is like braille for your brain, right?
I'm sorry. I was trying to get my husband to come in and listen to this.
Oh, no, okay. I can.
Okay, so can you start talking about the patches again? I'm sorry. I just want him to. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So this little patch has like ridges on it. It looks like a fingerprint. And it is. It's the owner's. It's his private property. It's encrypted in there. So it's um nobody can copy it. So basically what this is a braille for your brain. So the little ridges touches your skin. It sends a signal to the part of the brain that needs to have this signal. So this is the master. So what it does is it sends a signal to your signal. I could never say that word. Um, brainstem and essential nervous system, and it optimizes it. So it basically turns the light on. The best way to explain 7 seconds connection, your stability, mobility, range of motion, and balance happens. So it basically puts it into equilibrium or homeostasis, right? And the lane words, peace, happiness, calmness takes you from flight and fight and into calmness. And that happens in 7 seconds. And we do this little demo. We show you how your stability and mobility improves, and some pain relief. So I think of this one as a multivitamin. So it helps a little bit everywhere, but focuses on the most important part of the brain that is most disconnected, right? And I actually have a brain mapping that I can show you. It's fascinating. 18 months wearing this technology changed my neurology permanently. 90% was created neuroplasticity. I will never struggle from my past issues, but God forbid if I hurt myself, of course, right?
Right. So where do you wear that?
So you can put all of the 12 patches, you can put anywhere you want. The only patch that goes on a specific part of the body is freedom, is for pain. So it's more local. So you put it where it hurts. I mean, I have four, two on this side and one on here and one on here. Oh,
Mhm.
and sometimes I have 6 patches. It all depends what I need for that day. Today I'm definitely going to add our energy patch. It's called Boost. I'm going to need that because I've been up
Because you got
very
up so
funny.
early. So if I were to use one for my heel, I put it on my heel.
So no, so it's not, no, not necessarily. So I have heel spurs as well, and Achilles tendonitis and plantar fasciitis, and I struggled for a while, and then I used the pain patch and Liberty together, and had a cortisone shot done for inflammation. So and then I added a victory patch, and that changed everything. So this is for athletes. And what it does, it works on your inflammation and muscle recovery. So this was insane for me.
And so where do you put them then? You don't have to put them on the sore spot.
You don't have to put on the sore spot. You can put it like anywhere because it's the the nerve endings are all over, right? The skin is the largest organs, right? And it's nerve endings everywhere. You can put it directly on your pain, but you don't have to.
Okay, because it would be hard, I think, to put on my heel. Now,
Yeah.
let me ask you this. Do you wear those 24/7?
So this certain patches I wear 24/7 because the patches never stop working because they're consistently optimizing the part of the brain that is not connected. So it's consistently looking for those new neuropathic ways. So it's basically like scanning you,
Okay,
with no harm, obviously. It's
right.
scanning your brain, your neurology to see where the connection needs to go. So it's constantly trying to find that balance. And some
Okay.
patches you need to wear for a period of time, then you don't have to. And some there's a maintenance, right?
Okay, and so also it's it looks to be like a silicone.
This
Or like, yeah,
it's
like a
a mandate.
band-aid is made with.
Yeah, it's like a mandate. It's I don't. It's no. There's not. It's not a silicone based. It's hypoallergenic. I forgot the name of it. I can send it to
But
you.
is it like the sticky part on a band-aid?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I don't even know what that's called, but
yeah.
sticky
It's
part on a
it's
band-aid.
made with the same material, the MG3. So it's high quality, and they're about to upgrade it to be even more, you know, for
Okay.
for sensitive people, even though it's hypoallergenic and dermatologist approved. But some people have sensitive skin.
Okay, so if is there like I have two questions.
Sure.
if I put one on, then
Yes.
am I supposed to take it off in 24 hours? Like it runs out of power, you put another one on?
That, exactly. You change
Okay.
it. So it's
And
28 patches coming in the in the bag. So it's for 28 days.
20 in a bag or 28?
28.
28 in a bag.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I get in the pool every day for 3 hours.
Okay.
And
So
so does
so
that stay on in the pool?
so water resistant, not waterproof, right? So we do have, we do have athletes wear it and swimmers wear it. Um, it all depends on your skin, how much you move, where you put it, put it under your bathing suit. It depending if you're putting a fresh patch on or like you've had it for,
So so it may be better to like apply
yeah.
it as I get out of the pool and then take it off the next day. That would
So,
be 21 hours
so,
on. Take it
so
off
what
before I get
you
in.
you can I don't you have to time it when you swim and use it while you're swimming because it's actually going to give you more power.
Oh,
It's
okay.
extra strength.
Well, I usually just float like a princess.
Okay, well you will be stronger, Princess Float.
I swim for I swim for mental clarity.
Amazing. Well,
I,
we have
I
a
literally just float with no float. I just float.
yeah,
And I do a little bit of aerobics, you know.
amazing. Yeah, and so that all of that will help. And we have a patch for clarity. So peace patch, you will be even more in tranquility when you're flowing in
Amazing.
that.
This
Yeah,
is
it's
amazing.
amazing. It's amazing. We've been honored in World Congress of Sleep in France. We've been honored in Turkey, World Congress of Pain Management. And for me, the pride is Mexico City, 2 months, November, World of Congress of Psychology. And to me, that is the biggest moment because they're so quickly prescribing medicine and to be
Yes.
honored in that arena. Yes, sleep is really important, and doctors always want to prescribe something, pain management, and the honor is even on a whole other level because we are a network marketing company, and for those organizations and platforms to actually look at their studies and see value in it and wanting to learn more. And the company was not invited. The third party that did the research went and represented the research that they did. So
Oh, very good.
the third party peer review, a lot to say.
Yeah.
So,
So is it available? Where are you? I don't
I'm
even
in the United States. It's available all over United States in 27 countries.
and where are you?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. Where are you?
I'm in Podunk, Missouri.
Oh, lovely. Nice.
There's like 600 people live in my town.
Hey,
We
listen.
have more cows than we have people.
But we have the whole world through the internet. So
I
this
know.
is God's gift that keeps on giving. Every time I have an issue, um, the company creates a patch for what I need. The stress, the anxiety, the pain, the.
So what makes them different? What's the difference between, is it a different print on it or is it a different application process or what makes it different?
From anything else, it's drug-free, non-invasive, no chemicals, no side effect. There's nothing in the
From
market.
each other. From
Oh, you mean from each other? Yes, each individual patch has its own specific code for specific part of the brain. So basically, he decoded the brain and focuses on each individual part of the brain they need. And so you know how I showed you this patch? We had this for a couple of years by itself, right?
okay, but
So
I thought that was like his fingerprint on it.
it is. It is. Um, so this one was, like I said, multivitamin. So let's say you need sleep. It focuses more on sleep and everything else goes just a little bit, but you also have stress. But sleep is more important. So it doesn't give that much attention to the sleep. I mean, to the stress, but it gives more attention to sleep, right? And
Okay.
now we have a peace patch. So now sleep gets a more, right? This goes back to the basics, more so to the brain stem and essential nervous system, and gives now sleep more energy. It does not have to worry about stress because this patch helps with stress and anxiety. So it's like a puzzle, right? This is the base, that's the first piece, and everything else comes around it.
Right. So is the print different on him?
Yeah, the print is not different. It's just the same fingerprint, but they just structurally differently. They just a circle or
Different
square. Like,
pressure, maybe. So when you do a fingerprint, the only reason I did a fingerprint was for security clearance, just to be
yeah,
clear.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Push separate, like
Yeah,
different. So it's just like that.
yeah. So they kind of this one kind of lays over each other. They take it,
I see.
it's like a QR code. So the fingerprints is nothing. It's just the place to put it, right? It becomes a personal property. There's laws and regulation. It's beyond my pay grade. I don't understand. I
Right.
just
I
know it
see.
works.
But I think in my mind, that if you have, just trying to think of a time when I have something on me that bothers me or that I'm aware of. So if I have I don't even know. Sometimes if the kids will put a sticker on you or something and your brain says that bothers you, but it's aware that that's there. So it's the same kind of concept, but
That,
it's a good
that's
response to it.
That, exactly. So, and you know how we were little kid, like the best explained, I also explained to you, you're walking on the street and something falls on your hair. You don't know what's on it, but you know there's something in your hair, and the brain goes, shake your head, or go like this, go like this.
Yeah.
It's the same. And again, I tell people don't overthink it because we won't understand it. It's most of us, even sometimes doctors don't understand it. Like I speak to them. I have doctors on my team that use it, like psychology therapists, social workers, OTs, and sometimes they don't even understand. They understand homeostasis, but they don't understand exactly how it all connects.
Right. Well, I have a son who has a degenerative nerve and muscle disease in his eyes, and he did when he was little. We had him in music therapy. And what does music have to do with your eyes? Well, when you hear,
Yeah.
and what they did was they put all these things on him and tested what muscles respond to what musical notes. The
Yes.
muscles he have, because it's a degenerative nerve and muscle disease, the muscles that needed strengthened, they made music out of the notes that those muscles responded to. And then he would sit with a headset on for an hour a day and listen to this music to strengthen his eyes. And he never had to have surgery again after that.
Oh, that's amazing. And while
Yeah.
you
I
about
do kind of understand how that works a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we had a doctor that worked with us for a long period of time, and like they sent them cases the worst. They couldn't do anything, and he did that with eyes. He took like X-ray of the eyes and looked at the eyes to see how they move, where the neurology function. It was so fascinating. He did a couple of trainings for us. It's still on YouTube. I'm happy to send it. And like we all cried by the end of this video. And I met him in live and shared all this incredible story of this boy that got hit with a puck from hockey and, who should have not had a life. And he helped him tremendously. Then when he discovered this, he was like, oh my God, like I can help so many more people faster. And
Right.
so imagine something you have on that creates neuroplasticity. It's consistently helping your brain, I mean, be healthier. So yeah, so this is what I do. This is my passion. This is why I got up today at 4 in the morning to make sure I'm here for you for 5.
And so now tell me about how you built a business around it. Let's look at the business end. Your
Sure.
friends got you the socks, and then they came up with the patches, and you started using the patches.
Yes. So basically, I was not looking for business. It found me. The business changed my life. Didn't understand what I signed up. I just wanted for my own self to have a better quality of life. And I actually did not share it for about 8 or 9 months, very
Wow.
openly as a business, because I didn't know how to. Because I know how it felt on the other side, businesses bombarding me, saying, I have something for you. I had something for you.
Right. I hate that.
Right. And it really like emotionally it drained me. And I know I was thinking that I promised God that I have to share this magic. I promised him.
Right.
I didn't know how I was going to do it. My sister said to me, Irene, your life was changed. And a couple of other friends, they said, you just have to share your story.
That's it. And you know what? We are tired of businesses. We want stories. I
Yeah.
want your face. I want your curly hair and your vibrancy popping in front of me and saying, this is where I was and this is where I am. And
And
that's all it takes.
And that's all I did. I still do after 7 years. I share my story. I don't recruit for my business because I welcome you if somebody finds me and said, I want to link arms with you. Like you said, I've been watching you for 8 months
Yeah.
and I want to know more. Maybe I want to be part of it. Come share your story. I'm intrigued. And people come to me and say, how much money you make? And I say, you know, something, $0. I change lives. You're not my partner.
Yeah.
It is a business. Money comes, but that's not what my team is not built on that, and nothing wrong with it. But
No, but don't you understand that? And I actually just recently got, I was in a group of women who maybe aren't my friends anymore because I said to them, it's not about money.
Yeah.
You're never going to succeed. You've got to stop with the money.
Yes.
Money is literally just a tool.
Yes.
It's
yes.
no different than your phone or your mouse, or it's just a tool. It's not about the money. If you can't connect with people and go to bed at night feeling like, thank you, Lord, for letting me help these people.
Amen.
You're never going to be successful, truly successful. No. You may make some money, but you're not going to be truly successful.
No,
and you won't be successful in yourself. You won't feel good about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's how I build it. I just show up every day and share my story and tell people it's going to be okay. Yes, sometimes you have to surrender.
Oh, and then there's going to be people that think you're nut, and that is also okay.
And that's it's okay. I, lived my life for over 56 years now, and I've lived my life to my own beat of the drum. I walk to my own music. I dance with no music, and it doesn't matter. This is bigger than a business. It is an incredible business. I have an incredible team, but we are back to changing lives. Yes, change lives. If you're business savvy and you understand the concept of the business, go for it, run with it. I'm going to help you. I didn't even know my comp plan for the first 3 years because I never looked at it, because that's not what motivates me. Do I know the comp plan today? It's been changed 6 times for better. I still don't know comp plan. I can give the first 3 steps how to succeed. You have your own testimony, use the products daily, and share with passion, and you will know your own comp plan.
There you go. There you go. And the reason that I invited you on here too is because in my business, it's the Balanced Life CEO. So I build businesses. I'm passionate about building businesses, but I know that businesses fail if you don't have balance. And one of the big things that affects, and I work mainly with midlife women, one of the big things that affects us at this age is the aches, the pains, the lack of energy, the things that the different things in our body that are malnourished because of the lifestyle we've lived while we're hustling. And so we have to find balance. And so I think your product, I think this is a great product for all midlife people, everybody. And I think that I'm going to go ahead and keep promoting that because I think it adds a lot of value to the people in our age group. I also think that as society grows and develops more medically and just as people, we're realizing that the doctors don't have all the answers. We're realizing that big farm is a real thing. These pharmaceutical companies, they're not selling you the cure. They're selling you the thing to keep you coming back and keep you sick.
And that's what my sister said to me. Irene, you were struggling for 5 years. All of the medicine that you took, all the treatments you did. I've been poked with needles this big. And how can you not share this? It changed your life.
How did you not get addicted? Like, I cannot imagine. I can't say that kind of stuff. When I've had surgery and they give me oxycodone and they give me there's something they give me, and it literally makes me violently ill. So this is like, oh, let me give you something for the throw ups too. And I'm like,
yeah,
I don't need all this. I don't want all
Oxy. I had no choice, right? I was in so much pain, and I walked around drunk and high and out of it. And there were days that the medicine didn't help. I needed a shot of tequila on top of it, and that's what helped more. I probably should have been an alcoholic because the drugs didn't help. The alcohol helped more than the actual drugs. And when you stop the drugs, like the gabapentin actually creates neuropathy. It makes it worse. And when I had that epidural, I had those 2-3 months without medicine. And then as the epidural ran, I had to get back on them. So my nervous system, my everything was like this, because I was on, I was off, I was on, I was off, I was on, I was off. And then morphine came 3 times a week. because my body shook so much, nothing could have stopped it. And
Right.
especially in between the epidural, I lived in the hospitals and on drugs. And it took, I get one and they don't want to hear from you until 3, 4 months. But my epidurals didn't last me that long. And the
Right.
more you do it, the less the last. And
Right.
sometimes you get a different doctor. And I would be in bed for 7 days because they did it so roughly and something hurt more. But anyway, we don't have to worry about the old story. The new story is magical.
It is. And you know what? Kudos to the lady who taught you, who shared her story with you. What a
That's right.
great thing for
And
her.
it's so important that if you have a platform, even if you don't make a video of your story, your magic, what gave your life back, what gave you hope, your book, your mentor, your teacher, your coach, it doesn't matter. People consistently help us get better, but we hide, we don't share them. Look, I feel like we all have room to succeed. We just have to show up. And I
Yeah.
just want to say, this is also safe for children. I had babies wear this.
Oh,
Special liberty and defense for immune system, and kids with paying attention, having heart trouble, sitting at home, at school, and focusing. We have patches for that, so it's safe
that's
for kids.
amazing. Because you know how often they're uh, prescribing, I don't know if it's Ritalin now or what,
Yes,
but
good.
these kids
Yeah.
are like, oh, you've got ADHD and you know what, really, I believe, and I homeschooled my children, so I'm sure this is very controversial, but I believe that children were meant to learn by running and playing.
Oh,
Children were not created to sit down at a desk. I know this from my own experience. I sat through school. I didn't hear what they were saying. I got good grades by the grace of God, not because I tried, because my mind was outside. My mind was out the window all the time. I
and
did
my
not belong in there.
my oldest daughter was like, oh my God, gave me gray hair. That's my color, my hair. I mean, I went through, she had the whole alphabet. She had ADD, all of it, like A, B, C, D, all of it. And when it took me a long time to figure out that she needed in active, she had to be actively taught. She had to stand. She couldn't sit. She had to like move around. And let me tell
Yes,
you, she's been on all of those drugs. I wish I had this. One
yes.
doctor gave her the dosage so high that if she overdosed pretty much. If I didn't get her to the hospital like within an hour, her her organs were like shutting down. I don't know. It was a scary
That's
situation.
crazy. And you know what? I think that kids are really like, I have a son who actually learned to build his name with sticks and blocks and things before he ever wrote. Because
Amazing.
kids aren't made to just sit there and do this thing that
Yeah.
we think they should.
Yeah.
They're gifts from God and they need to exercise and do all the things, get fresh air, be outside. They can still learn. There's a lot they can learn. My children are all successful. I
Amazing. No,
they're
I'm a
happy.
believer.
It's
What
absolutely.
I went through with my oldest daughter, she did everything alternative can speak. We did art therapy, we did art learning, through crayons and pencils, and she loved textures and rocks. So we did math with rocks and all of that. So yeah, absolutely. And now we have these tools, just another tool to help those children, right? They're not going to be zombies. They're not going to be crazy. They're going to feel really comfortable and confident with themselves because, I work with children. They're like, I wish I can sit still. Like, I speak to the children too and the parents to let them know, it's going to be cool. People are going to, you have this magical patch. We're going to talk about there's something wrong with them. We're giving you another tool. And they're so excited. They're so proud. I was like, I did great. In the beginning stages, they would send me messages, go, Miss Irene, I got a B on my this. And it was just so heartfelt, like you great,
So nice.
incredible stories from adults and children. It was, one of the little girls that remember, she wanted to call me. I changed my page because I really wanted to talk to that child. A lot of, especially teenagers, parents controlled their health and wellness. And, we finally got this girl to be able to engage with me. And I said, I will talk to you. You talk to me. I will help you. I will help you be consistent. And it was beautiful.
Yeah. And so I wonder, is there, I see you pictures on your arm. Is that a better place or is there, it
So
doesn't
I
matter.
wear them because I want people to ask questions. So this is,
Oh,
I'm working advertisement in my videos, so I don't like, people say, oh, what do you have in your what is this? What you got? Are you quitting smoking? I'm like, no, I'm optimizing my neurology, right? And conversation just starts naturally. Product placement.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, I'm a product of my product, so I show it off. I'm proud of it. It gave me my life back. So, it's not being in your face. Ooh. And I had to learn. I had to diarrhea them out because I was so passionate, and I was like, "You need this." Well, not. I mean, relax, not like that.
Yeah, just if you just tell what it did for you. Now,
Yeah.
if the sun hits it, does it leave a mark or does the sun go through it?
Oh no, no, it doesn't leave a mark. I mean, again, some like if I'm wearing a sweater, sometimes you get a little, weird, but it doesn't leave a mark.
But will it leave like a sun line?
Yeah, I mean, for a second, right? Because I'm constantly moving them around. I mean, there's a little
Oh,
bit of
okay.
obviously there's a little bit of a glue. It has to stick to you. So I use a loofah and I just kind of, you know,
Very good.
get the little bit of the sticky patches off.
So
That.
tell me before we go, tell me how people can reach out to you.
So I'm everywhere. Facebook is probably the easiest because of the messenger, but I'm on Instagram and I am on Lemon and I'm on Threads and I'm on TikTok and everywhere. Every YouTube, stock, whatever this new thing, stock and red and orange everywhere. Like they have everywhere. But Facebook is probably easiest because there's a direct message and there's also WhatsApp. I'm everywhere as I
Okay,
promised God in my prayer.
good. That you would be omnipresent. You'll be everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Very good. Well, I have sure enjoyed this. This is great. Is there
Thank.
anything else that you want to share with us?
Well, yes, I do. I want to know if you're going through the difficult moment. It is not the end of you. You're not buried. You're actually planted for something beautiful. Lean into your pain, and it will become your superpower. You got this. Trust the process.
Very good. I love that. I love that. And I really appreciate you coming and meeting
Oh,
with us. This has been amazing.
thank you.
I am going to share all your information so that people can connect with you too.
Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. I appreciate all of this. Thank you. Very grateful. I took a picture of us. I'll post it later and give you a shout out for such a great coffee time talk.
It is coffee chat, isn't it? Yes.